I know, gross British,
Ew. At night.
named William, came over to America because he just kind of wanted to, I think.
Yeah.
And while there, he took his family, because he is married with 3 kids.
Ew.
What?
I'm kidding.
So, that's it. Freddy Bear,
Freddy.
rest in peace, Freddy Bear.
And come back. And
Don't.
always come.
My friend, you have met a terrible, terrible demise. But, I don't feel too bad about it. After all, if it weren't from me, it would have just been from someone else, I guess what I'm trying to say is life goes on. Well, for everyone else, life goes on, not for you, you're dead. But that's neither here nor there. It reminds me of one summer day in the park. I was having just a delightful picnic with my good friend Orville.
Hey fellas, we're back with a spooky episode.
Very scary.
It's
horrifying.
Yeah, it's almost as spooky as gamers.
I am very
when they don't
frightened.
get their gamer fuel. When they don't play their
Gaming games.
their spooky games.
Again, horrifying.
Horrifying.
Exactly.
Welcome back to AA Gaming.
The real monster is just people.
Exactly.
Which is why we have...
Yeah. It's just me already. I'm Troy. I'm from Games Nation. I'm joining a AA Game podcast today.
You're from Games Nation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the center of all these spooky gamers.
Yeah, we have a guest, and it's Troy. It's Travis. It's
Tony.
it's Tony.
Yeah. I thank you for having me on. Thank you for being on today.
Yeah. Because, I'd much rather talk to you than... I don't know, a person I wouldn't like to talk to.
Wow.
I wasn't talking about you. I was trying to think of anything. Blank names. Okay, so Travis Scott, what is Games Nation?
Okay, so Games Nation's it's a student-run club on campus. We our main place we meet is the second floor of the Pioneer Center. First floor technically, I call it the second floor.
Yeah, that's fine.
But it's a place you can just come in. We're open from 4 to 9 every week, from Monday to Saturday, and Friday we're open till 1. You can just come in, sign in. You have a whole library of games you can play from. We have PCs in the back too, so you can play your Steam games on a higher quality laptop.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually down there yesterday. Dude, they have really good PCs, just in general.
Oh, yeah, no, that's high-end, expensive stuff.
You're playing No Man's Sky, I think? Or?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Yeah, because I oversaw it when I was playing in the back, because I was playing Rivals of Aether.
Yeah.
But I hadn't personally played on them yet, but everyone I've talked to said they're crazy.
They're awesome. Those are great. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, they have consoles from PS5s to Xboxes, Nintendo, Switch,
Oh, yeah, dude.
and all of the Nintendo.
Yeah, I think the only Nintendo console we're missing is Super Nintendo, I think.
Did they have 8 booklets, just jam-packed full of game discs, and it's so cool. I love it.
You have the newest Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
game.
true. Yeah, we got the newest Mortal
Street
Kombat with the
Fighter.
DLC because I know how much everyone wanted to play as Omni-Man or Homelander.
Are you guys gonna get because I know you care a lot about COD.
Yes.
Yeah.
They said maybe.
Yeah, maybe because I was actually planning on going it tomorrow to buy Sparking Zero and Mario Party.
Okay.
So if I have money left over on that card, I'll probably buy Call of Duty.
Hell yeah, okay.
Not a bad idea.
The more new games you get, the better it looks.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, and not only that, you guys give away things too, right?
True. Next month we're planning on doing our SLC takeover. We've done it every semester, for the past few years. We do raffle giveaways of just various consoles and other items. We gave away last SLC takeover.
It's not garbage consoles either.
Yeah,
it's
the most recent
ones.
Last semester we had some extra money in our budget, so we gave away a Steam Deck too.
Who is giving you this money?
Alfred State.
Dang.
Jeez.
Before you gave away a PS5 too, right?
That one alone was we were approaching the end of the year, so we put the rest of the budget into it. We did Switch, PS5,
That's
Xbox,
insane.
Steam Deck, and I think a monitor too.
So these guys give to the gaming community, which is why we like them so much, because they're awesome. They have high-end PCs. They have water too, which I appreciate because it does get a bit hot in there. That's my
Yeah.
only warning. If you're sensitive to heat, just keep that in mind. Bring some water.
Yeah.
It does help in the winter though, because it's gonna
Yeah,
get
true.
as it gets colder, it's a nice warm place.
It
And I
must
think
gonna be a bit warm now, when we're recording,
Yeah.
it's like 30 something.
true, and
maybe 40.
and I believe once Pioneer's renovated, the
Yeah.
area's gonna come back to us with AC.
That's
Oh, nice.
perfect.
The-
And that'll be great because then you can turn the
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
The only recommendation is that the fridges only have water, sadly, so none of your gamer fuel.
Oh yeah, you gotta put like 5 Red Bulls in there.
And every time in the past we've had soda in there, some guy just takes all of it. So
Oh,
water's
yeah.
water's the best direction.
Water
we got.
is definitely, I would argue.
Yeah, no. You should
Yeah.
fill it with Prime because no one's going to drink that.
True.
No one will touch
True.
it.
There we go.
That's an idea right there.
But anyway, the only somewhat negative I can even think about for Game Station is just the fact that it's like so far away from mostly
Yeah.
everything.
But you're gonna.
So the plan's not definite right now.
Yeah.
So once Pioneer closes for renovation, we're gonna get I think a spot in Mackenzie North. We're not sure yet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So and once Pioneer's like done renovating, we're gonna keep the spot in Mackenzie North too. So there's gonna be 2 Game Stations basically.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is cool. But yeah, if you like casual gaming and you don't want to do like the competitive side with esports,
Exactly.
you gotta check. I love it
It's
so
very
much.
cool. It's genuinely a very cool place. And if you like Wii U's, there are many.
There are 2 of them.
Yeah, too.
I love the Nintendo Wii U.
I-
No, I don't.
I played so much Nintendo Land last week. You had no idea.
Yeah.
Did you play the Pikmin game?
Oh yeah,
No,
I
it
saw
was-
you. You were across from us.
Yeah, I was playing Pikmin in general.
I need to get into Pikmin.
It's
My
very
mom
good.
actually really
That
likes
is.
Pikmin.
It-
Shout out to mom.
It's sometimes it feels like a horror game with everything throwing
Oh
at
yeah, spooky like the
Spooky spider demons.
dancing long legs or whatever. his
you. Oh
name
yeah,
is.
that screwed me up when you were
Funky
when I was
long
playing it. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys want to know what the scariest thing I can possibly imagine doing right now?
What?
Being first to sit across the table playing a card game with Granddad.
That's
Wow.
a crazy transition right there.
Yeah, Inscription and other games related to Inscription.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where do I even start with Inscription? Okay.
You should probably start with the title of the game.
Yeah, so Inscription.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is one of my favorite games ever. Like, and one of my favorite creators is behind one of my favorite games. It's just okay. Daniel Mullins is the creator of Pony Island, which some of you might know. I remember being younger and watching like Markiplier play.
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with Daniel Mullins games is that they have a smallish community, but they are very high quality.
Oh yeah, and they're also like, at least from my experience, almost all of them, including his tinier games, are complete mindfucks. Like they are completely mindfucky. They are just the strangest thing. And the fun thing about them, right, is that they start small. They start with like these little concepts, but then they build and they build and they build and they build. Well, on top of that, having like not just good story, but also incredible lore and but also incredible. I meant gameplay. Incredible gameplay.
Because I mean, Inscription has a good story. I'm a little biased because I think because Inscription, no spoilers to the story, uses ARG elements, which
And I love ARG elements.
I think is cool. I am just very much jaded
That's
to the
fair.
concept
That's
because I've just seen
completely
like billions of them.
yeah.
But I will admit, as much as I'm iffy on the story of Inscription, I'm a sucker for the card game. I really love
absolutely.
playing it. It's so fun.
And the thing is, you don't have to involve yourself with the story if that's not your bag. Like there's literally once you beat the game, and like you don't have to dive into the ARG, but if you want to know more about what's going on, you totally can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about games like this that have like ARG elements built into
Yeah.
it?
So yeah, I'll be a little frank here. I'm not like the biggest horror gamer.
That's
ARG
completely fair.
is like not something I'm very familiar with. If you want to just
Oh
describe it to
yeah,
me.
of course. Okay, so ARG is called an alternate reality game,
Mhm.
which essentially means that
It crosses mediums with storytelling.
exactly, and it's like as an example, you could have somebody like on Reddit or on it could be Reddit, could be Discord, could be Tumblr, could be could be YouTube. It's often YouTube.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, it seems like some random person doing some random thing, and they're presenting themselves as if they're completely, like,
Real.
real.
Legit.
Exactly. And they often, like, dupe a lot of people. But the
Ex-
whole point is that they're telling a story and pretending like it's real as in alternate reality.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I assume like a lot of the games kind of follow the inscription style, where it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's X genre, and then it slowly branches out into this ARG
Yeah.
kind of horror.
Pony Island very much did that.
Yeah.
And so did Hex
Mm-hmm.
and Pony 2, the Ponyin.
Well, yeah, there's a new game that's gonna come out.
Penguin Circus, right?
Not Panda Circus.
Close enough.
Which I'm really, really, genuinely super excited for. And again, I will say, there are a ton of games, especially horror games, that use ARG elements and often use this like, oh, it's like the story is small, but then it's huge now, and none of it makes any sense. But I think what Daniel Mullins does well, in conjunction, is that number one, the twists do genuinely feel surprising.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion.
Again, I don't think we can really give an example because that would be major spoilers, but
yeah, well, even I'll start off with like the very, and you can skip like, I don't know, a minute ahead if mild spoilers.
yeah, let's
right? Yeah.
probably not for Inscription. Maybe give the spoilers for the minor spoilers for the twist of Pony Island as an
Well, I'm not
example
as
case.
would you like to? Or?
I can, sure.
Yeah.
So Pony Island presents itself as a pony game,
yeah.
as stated by the name,
Oh yeah.
which, again, spoiler alert, skip about 30 seconds ahead,
Yeah, it's
but it turns out you're like an Afghani war veteran who died, and
isn't it like a Roman gladiator?
it could be, I might have it wrong, but it is someone who died, and Pony Island is literally Satan who collects people's souls by having them play
Yeah.
the pony game.
Yeah.
Okay. If you told me like with one guess, try to guess what the twist was, I probably wouldn't have gotten there.
Exactly. But that's the thing. Is that like? Sorry,
Yeah.
you go. My bad.
But that's the thing, is a twist, like, it's out there, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not, like, absolutely insane.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not like you're going super far left field, even though it's very left field.
Yeah.
You're still like kind of hitting the same tonal theme.
You're still in the
Exactly.
ballpark.
Exactly. But and the cool thing, like, I'll give a very mild. It's not a spoiler. It's more just like the theme and how it feels generally playing Inscription.
Mhm.
Is at first you're across from this guy who is Leshy, right? Which you probably saw from the footage. But after you play over time, he tells you to get up. It's not just a game. It's not just a card game. It's an escape room.
Exactly. They combine multiple elements.
Yeah, but the thing is, it won't stop there. That's all I'll say about it. But the fact that you get that weird surprise, that weird twist at the early, and it doesn't feel like a twist for a lot of people, which is why I'm saying it. But it does genuinely feel a bit like one.
Exactly.
It feels like you're expanding the world. There was this guy, right, who talked about it before,
Mm-hmm.
and he mentioned that there was this element of, like, the fourth wall, right? Or, like, expanding the fourth wall, or expanding, like, how big the wall gets. And they never break the fourth wall, ever. But they expand the wall, they expand the stage over time to be bigger and bigger and bigger and more elaborate and more complicated.
Exactly.
And that I appreciate.
Honestly, I much prefer that sort of take over
like,
the
and-
spooky anime girl.
and it was all real in real life.
The spooky anime girl sent me a notepad file on my desktop.
And personally speaking, like
Mhm.
I'm not the biggest fan of twists in general.
That's completely
like
Yeah.
no, but like I kind of feel like this is like a refreshing take on it because over the summer I've replayed all the Persona games.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
games have some pretty bad twists. I'm not gonna get any spoilers
Yeah,
because those are
exactly.
pretty common games.
Yeah.
It feels like
Especially
it's
Persona
robbing
4.
you or it lied to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but like these kind of twists I can accept because like you could tell like just by looking at it like this is not just an ordinary card game.
No.
Just in the general vibe of it, it's not coming out of left. It's not really coming out of left field because it still matches the
Exactly.
tone, which
Like
I
even
appreciate.
like you could argue that the first twist of the game happens in like the first 3 seconds,
Yeah.
or like once you start playing, which is essentially to play the game, you have to sacrifice animals,
That's
which actually ties into like the bigger narrative and the story behind it. Like, I can't talk about it because it's that intricate, but like, and it's that well woven into the story. But the fact that like the whole themes of the game and like where all of the stuff comes from starts with the basic idea of sacrificing animals and the idea of like using people as like pawns and changing people into like playable characters at the expense of like everybody else, including those pawns. Like it's just, and that ties into like the ARG, which ties in. It's really cool. Again, I can't get into it, but if you like ARGs, if you like horror that isn't actually that,
if you
scary.
even just like roguelike gameplay.
Exactly. If you like card games, but not like ones with a million different rules that you have to memorize.
Yeah, Inscription is the card game rules are pretty simple once you get down to it.
And it teaches you over time.
Exactly.
Just watching it definitely seems like that kind of Slay the Spire kind of card game level, where it's
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
where everything's kind of self-explanatory. It's not like you gotta read a paragraph like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Because the thing is, like, it tells you right there. So, like, if you're, which is the advantage of the gameplay medium. Like, if you played a physical card deck, you would have to go through the rules and see how everything plays out. But because you can just click on the rule and see what it does right there, it's done. You're good. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
But yeah, no, definitely check out Inscription and the other Daniel Mullins
Yeah.
games with
And watch for Pony Island 2.
Penguin Circus.
I think it's Panda Circus.
It is Panda
It's an
Circus.
animal.
It's a black and white
Animal Circus.
Animal Circus.
It's just like
Zookosis.
George Orwell, Animal Farm.
We've gotten so far from Pony
We've
Island.
gotten so far.
Speaking of animals, you guys want to know what one of my favorite animals is? A little brown bear
I got a jump scare about this. I need to change it.
with a little top hat. Freddy
Nah.
Fazbear.
Freddy FNAF.
Okay,
Bear.
so I'm just gonna preface this right now.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell the lore of the series. I think it'd be pretty funny if one of you tried explaining to me, and I'll see if I can
Yeah.
understand it.
Jess, would you do the honor?
It would be my absolute pleasure. First, before we get into like the storyline,
Oh yeah.
we should probably tell the viewers at home what a Freddy Fazbear is.
Oh yeah. So okay. Where do we even start, dog? I
There's a complicated history behind that brown bear, so I'm gonna give a very quick overview
Yeah,
of
yeah.
who he is.
Mhm.
So, an indie game developer was working on making just little games for fun,
Mhm.
but throughout multiple games, a common complaint was that his model work was uncanny, and it looked
Yeah.
like a creepy animatronic,
Mhm.
which he then used to build upon and make a horror game called Five Nights at Freddy's,
Yeah.
which blew up because Market of Pliers and Green Eye Man, they played it, got millions of views,
Mhm. And millions of dollars in his pocket.
and now there's like 13 Freddy Bears.
and now there's a new one, and there's
Wait, how old is the most recent one? I feel like I lost track
I don't
already.
even know, dog.
The most recent one isn't even technically out yet, it's still just a demo.
Wait, really?
Yeah, 5 Laps at Freddy's, the racing one.
There's a racing game. Oh my!
Yeah,
I am,
there's a
Apparently-
racing
We
game.
talked about it. Apparently, it's terrible.
I'm-
One of the worst games
listen,
I've ever
I don't
played.
even know the lore, and I'm already lost.
Oh,
Speaking
God.
of that, let's move on to the storyline, because these
Yeah.
games all have an interconnected story with each other.
I feel like we should start with the game itself, and then we can move into the creator. which is-
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, firstly,
Mhm.
let me take you all back to a magical time
Oh boy.
called 1985.
Okay, that's not the year I'm thinking of.
Also, we're going a little bit further back to actually 1980.
Wow, I can't believe you got it wrong.
A British immigrant, which I know, gross British,
Ew. At night.
named William, came over to America because he just kind of wanted to, I think.
Yeah.
And while there, he took his family, because he is married with 3 kids.
Ew.
What?
I'm kidding.
And he took
Fathers are great.
he took his family. This father is gonna get really great later.
Oh yeah.
So he took his family to a pizza restaurant. I was like, whoa, this is cool.
But you know, it'd be better
Robot.
if there were robots that sung to you.
Exactly. So William pitched this idea to a friend of his named Henry.
Mhm.
Henry was ecstatic about the idea.
He was like, I love weird critters that talk.
Exactly.
That's my favorite thing.
So Henry immediately got to work with William to build the first Freddy Fazbear's establishment called Fredbear and Friends Diner,
Aw.
which then would lead to, cute wholesome. There was a golden bear, a golden rabbit,
Mhm.
and it was immensely popular.
Mhm.
But then tragedy would strike because William had 3 kids: Michael, Elizabeth, and a third one. I didn't forget the third one's name. The youngest child doesn't actually have a canonical name.
That's amazing.
But there were 3 of them.
Them Grumpulus.
If they're not bored, you can pass up on them. Are they important? I'm not sure.
They're very
They
important.
call him Grumpulus.
Okay, so Grumpulus. It was Grumpulus's birthday.
Yeah.
He was a bit spooked of the FNAF,
Yeah.
of the animatronics,
Yeah.
because,
they were at the pizza place.
because they're like 8 feet tall and they're kind of scary.
Yeah.
So it was his birthday, and obviously his father took him to the pizzeria for his birthday, but his father had business to attend to, so William kind of just left him alone with his brother.
Yeah. He wore like a fox mask.
Yeah, they were masks of the animatronics, and his brother, since Michael knew Grumpulus was scared of the robots, he's like, hey, why don't you give the robot a kiss? So he lifted up Grumpulus to the robot's mouth.
Is that the bite
Which-
of 87?
That's a bite of 83.
Yeah.
There's
I know.
2?
Yes,
There's
there's 2
2,
separate
yeah.
bites.
So I'm just filling in, like, the robot just did that on its own. He just bit the head off.
Yeah, he just kind of felt
He
like it.
lobotomized him.
He's kind of.
Yeah,
look
that
at-
Isn't the kid still alive? Or
No,
that's
kid-
a different kid.
Okay,
kid dies.
Yeah.
I would be even more confused if he was alive.
You know,
Yeah.
Grumpulus is dead. His frontal lobe is gone.
No more
He's
lobe
gone.
for Grumpulus.
Okay, so how does this affect, like, acting? That's his kid at his own place. How does
Well,
that, like-
also, at the same time this is happening,
Oh yeah.
his daughter
Yeah.
makes her way into the little animatronic storage room, which is under the house in a basement for some reason.
Yeah.
And then
And
his
it's like this weird sci-fi place with like an elevator, and doesn't it play like
Yeah.
jazz?
exotic butters.
Exotic butters.
But that's where they stir the animatronics, and his daughter got down there because his daughter likes the animatronic.
Yeah,
So
and
she
give her
leads
ice
up.
cream.
Yeah, she leads up to a little animatronic who offers her an ice cream. So opens the stomach to give them an ice cream,
She got turned
and then the stomach hatch grabs the daughter and incinerates her in the paper crusher that is its stomach.
Okay, so it's 2 in 1 day. How does this affect acting?
How do you say?
Okay, he lost. Okay, he's probably not good, but still.
No, he lost his mind.
Yeah.
He started becoming obsessed with the idea of immortality,
Oh yeah.
which led to him.
That's a different pipeline than I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he starts becoming obsessed with the idea of immortality because he just lost 2 children on like the same day.
Wait, is this what causes him to kill
Yes.
people?
So William, in order to experiment with the idea of immortality and souls, just kind of starts killing children
Damn.
and stuffing them into like the robot suits from the pizzeria.
Yeah. This is a game that like multiple kids, like my generation.
Yeah, we grew up with this.
We
We were
grew
like
up with this.
we were like 7 when
And
this came
now
out.
it's like a show, or not a show. It's like a game for babies.
Yeah,
now.
it has gotten a lot more child. So
Yeah.
to quickly go over the rest of the lore, because we're getting like halfway point near done.
Yeah.
So after that, the souls of the dead children come back because they don't like the Purple Man very much.
Mhm.
So is that Afton? Just be clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Afton is the Purple Man.
Okay.
Yeah, Afton is purple guy.
And so the spirits are like, yo, you're kind of a meanie pants, dog.
You're kind of a bitch.
So they spook him. He's
Yeah.
like, whoa, I'm scared. So he backs up into the suit that he used to lure children,
Mhm.
which then malfunctions, crushing him and having him drown in his own blood.
Oh yeah,
Which-
and then he gets like, but he doesn't die.
No, because
That's the one who lives. Okay.
he's not dead yet.
Yeah.
And after all of this happened, Freddy Fazbear Pizza is now a thing.
Fair.
And you get high, and then Michael, the only alive family
I
member,
already know like this lore vaguely, and I'm already lost.
Michael, which is, if you remember, the one family who's not dead yet.
Oh yeah, and he's the one that scared like.
Yeah, he's the
Did
one-
you call him Grumpulus? Yeah.
No, Grumpulus is the baby
No,
that
but I know,
died.
but he was the one that.
Yeah, Michael was the one that
basically
killed his
Grumpulus.
brother.
Yeah.
So Michael, wants to know what, because he doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
The only thing he knows that happened is, he offed his brother.
Yeah.
So he applies as a security guard for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. And the animatronics try to kill him because they smell his bloodline.
Yeah. He's like, you or you.
Yeah, they genuinely
So
smell
that
it.
finally leads to like the first actual game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we go back in time again.
Oh my
Because the
god.
first game takes place in like 2001.
Yeah.
So we go back in time to 1987
I love going back.
with the Jeremy Fitzgerald. For classification, during the events of FNAF 2, William is still alive.
Okay.
William is not, he's not swing-locked. Yeah, he's not a zombie.
Mhm.
The kids are dead,
Yeah.
but he's not. So you play as an animatronic named he plays a person named Jeremy Fitzgerald.
Mhm.
And the thing that makes the FNAF 2 animatronics unique is that they're not haunted like the other ones.
Mhm.
The reason they try to attack Jeremy is because they used facial recognition scanners, and someone hacked them to put Jeremy in, I'm not kidding when I say this, the National Offender Registry.
Really?
Yes.
What?
They hacked the robot's optical sensors.
Okay, so for context, right? This lore is like known for being like insanely confusing. I
Yes.
did not
Yeah.
expect that to be like the one
I
of the
didn't
reasons.
even know this.
Yeah, no, it's been stated that it was because the robot visors were hacked to detect him as like a predator,
Jesus Christ.
which is the bite of 87, and now he's dead, and then William is dead, and then Michael is dead because he becomes other Purple Man, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then they open them all.
And and that's the new game.
Yes. So,
So,
Freddy.
Freddy.
Yeah, okay. So just like thoughts on that, like I find it crazy that all this probably I don't think he had any of this in the first
No.
game. He had to
No.
Mm-mm.
The thing is, okay, have you ever heard of this guy called Matt Pat?
I know who that is. I'm not that I don't live under that much of a rock.
No.
The thing is that at least most people think that he was the main reason why the story's so
Yes,
confusing.
That Scott Cawthon himself has come out and stated that Matt Pat genuinely, he used some of Matt Pat's early theories as a genuine basis.
And then, well, also using his theories as a way to be like, nuck, you know?
Yeah. So it's very confusing intentionally.
Yeah. Which is a problem, because, like,
It's also just kind of not very good.
no, it's
It was cool for a little bit.
mhm. But it just got more and more complicated.
Yeah.
Here's some advice for writers. If some random theorist gets your story right, don't change it. That means that you put good ideas down. Changing it doesn't
Yeah.
like, that just like you shouldn't change your story just because some random person got it right. Like if it's bad, you can change it. That's fine. But like if the person gets it right, it means you wrote a good story with good hooks.
Exactly.
Don't completely change every. Do you agree?
Yeah,
or
I
do you
100%
disagree?
agree.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of examples of like the
Yeah.
of something similar, but I think this is like mainly a Five Nights at Freddy's thing.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
FNAF is very unique with the written story because
Mm.
it's also suffered from babyism,
Oh,
which we
yeah.
will cover in a later topic. But
Yeah.
yes, FNAF went from being for young adults to genuine children and babies.
Which again, like I don't mind horror for children. I think like again, Goosebumps, you know, even like
Yeah,
yeah,
even like grim fairy tales, technically.
exactly. Like it's okay to tell kids horror because it's usually to teach them a lesson and or to warn them of danger, right?
Yeah.
Like we have these stories for a reason, and also because kids like horror.
Yeah,
Genuinely, I did, and I think it's as long as if it's in a safe environment, they should be allowed to experience horror with parental supervision and a support network and all.
Exactly.
Of that jazz.
Scott just kind of absolutely tore it down the drain by making it more and more complicated till it became a spaghetti mess of what it once
Yeah.
was.
It's also just like you shouldn't make your game worse if it means appealing to babies. Just because they're more marketable doesn't mean that like
Mhm.
in my opinion, sacrificing the integrity of your work isn't a good enough excuse. Like
No.
but like I'm not saying that necessarily even security breach is terrible in concept. It's not a bad game
No.
without the glitching. Like it's
not-
silly.
It's a fine
without
enough
the issues,
game.
without the issues, which it does have a lot of. But like, I don't even mind them making, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
But yeah, no, it was babied and it's
Yeah.
just a mess of what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
mhm.
just to close out like the whole FNAF section. This is like
Yeah.
it's kind of despite having played the games, it's kind of like I always have like this like that's why I have this like silent respect for Five Nights at Freddy's 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen like online like a statement I really like.
Mm-hmm.
It was the only Five Nights at Freddy's game not made as a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
That is
Mhm.
true.
Yeah, I agree.
N-
Because it wasn't made as like, okay, this is what all of the things I need to keep in mind, and also I'm going to change
Yes.
everything, and this and that and this.
This was just made as a silly horror game. to,
Exactly.
like,
It was a last shot,
Yeah.
basically,
If
before giving up.
if FNAF failed, Scott would have just stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it. Freddy Bear,
Freddy.
rest in peace, Freddy Bear.
And come back.
yeah,
And
Don't.
always come back.
Speaking of comeback, so, like right next to the docket, we have a game that did come back recently.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's a segue. See, he's learning.
You can say I'm a podcaster.
You're getting there.
Your job is in danger.
No. Okay.
Now, I have a hypothetical for both of you.
Okay.
What if, let's say, there were hills, and they were very quiet hills?
They were silent.
You
Silent
could
hills?
say they were silent hills.
Silent hills.
You could say that.
Silent Hills. This is that's another day. Silent Hills with an S.
So where do we even start? I don't
Now,
know that much about.
Firstly, Silent Hill 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake of, the absolutely the classic horror from what, like 2001?
Don't look at me for this one.
It was PlayStation 2 era, so
Yeah.
around early
'Cause
2000s.
all I know is Silent Hill is very famous for using like the old fog of the render distance to its effect.
Exactly, because that's the thing. Silent Hill 2 was purposefully written to be campy and uncomfortable.
I remember somebody talking about how a lot of the videos in the PS2 era looked genuinely like they looked fake, obviously, but there were
Yeah.
like moments where they felt almost real.
And Hideo Kojima used that to his advantage to up
Exactly.
the fear factor of Silent Hill 2.
Uncanny Valley.
Which is why I think the remaster just isn't really scary.
Yeah, 'cause, like what I like about a lot of PS2 games when they lean into the console's hardware, like Silent Hill and back on Persona, oddly enough, Persona 4, they use the fog that the render distance really well. Like fog's a very big part of Persona 4. Using render distance to obscure vision is a big part of horror games. But like now with like as technology's getting better, you really can't get away with that as much anymore.
It's interesting.
It's very. Sorry, man.
No,
It's very similar to what happened when Persona 4 got ported to modern consoles because the fog went away and people didn't like it as much.
Well,
Exactly.
that's the thing, right? Is that often so many interesting things come from limitation, come from the fact that there's only so much you can do with the thing you have. Like that's where we got pixel art from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Or
it's
chiptune.
but when you take away the limitations, you're stuck with this. Which
Yeah.
I'm not dissing the remaster. It's a good remaster. But I don't think it's a good game in spirit. Because the whole fact that the limitations of the PS2, which gave it its original creepiness factor, is just gone.
Yeah.
So now it's just kind of high def Pyramid Man.
Yeah. Which has like a million vertices.
Yeah.
I would need to get a picture of it. If anything, I can send if anything, I can send the picture. You can put up in editing. The vertices in that is an abomination.
Oh
just-
yeah. Aren't there like I think you said before there are like a million vertices on the pyramid head.
Yeah.
You
The
bump map
no.
that shit.
Firstly-
you bump map it.
Not the his head, not his body.
You normal
just his
map
head.
it. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I've mixed feelings. Hideo Kojima is a specimen of a person that I don't think he's real.
I don't
He's like a
know.
government psyop.
How so? How so?
How much do you know about Hideo Kojima actually?
I don't know that much.
Ooh, that's I did a little bit of research for this because like I was like a bit familiar with it. Hideo Kojima's time at like Konami in the 2010s, that was a horrible experience for him. Man.
Oh yeah, no.
Like as a game designer, it's like the kind of stuff I like kind of fear when going to the industry, especially the
Yeah.
layoffs.
Cause you're oh yeah,
I'm
I'm going into the art field. So
Exactly.
I'm a GID major here.
Oh,
at the
nice,
Alfred.
yeah.
So the story goes with Konami and Hideo Kojima. In the mid 2010s, Kojima made a lot of AAA games for Konami. He's head of Metal Gear. Silent Hill is on the way, which is a canceled Silent Hill game. So he was working. He has also a tendency to. He's a perfectionist at heart.
Yeah.
So he's a tendency to go over budget and over schedule.
Yeah.
So he was working on Metal Gear Solid 5. I think The Phantom Pain was the subtitle.
Yeah.
But Konami was starting to branch out into mobile gaming.
Yeah.
So mobile gaming for Konami turned out to be very cheap and very financially successful. So as they realized this, they realized that Hideo is spending more money than they're making back with these AAA games.
Yeah.
So what they do to make Kojima just reconsider a little is they make his work experience a living hell.
Oh.
They'll what they did is they had cameras set up to like make fun of people that weren't working. They disconnected the computers from the internet. I read so they could only talk to each other. They're there.
Terrible.
And I think the crux of it all is they like Hideo took a 2-week vacation after the game came out. Konami did not like this, so they did not let Hideo Kojima go claim the Game Award for the game that won the Game Award for Best Action Game.
Christ,
So-
that's terrible.
Someone got the Game Award instead for the game he worked on for I think 5 years.
Yeah.
That's insane. So this kind of like broke his mind a little bit.
Yeah, and like this caused him the eventual split off between Hideo and Konami, with Hideo starting Hideo Studios and going to Sony.
Which led to Death Stranding and a bunch of solo adventures.
And and if it makes it feel any better, he was actually at the most recent Game Awards and
nice.
promoting his next game.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's also just insane.
Oh yeah. Well, again, I went through like I'm already insane as it is.
He,
and I went
he
through
was still
that.
he was still freak. He was freaky before.
What do you mean by what do you do?
He's just a
Well,
cre-
how-
he's a specimen.
How though?
I don't really know how to describe it, so editor. I'm gonna send you pictures of some of his tweets, so put them on screen. They should clarify how he's just a funky little creature who went through genuine hell on earth
Yeah.
because he wasn't making weird gotcha mobile games.
True.
Yeah.
You want to know what Konami did with the Silent Hill license?
What?
Japanese pinball gambling machines.
What?
Not joking.
And that's more profitable than the Phantom Pain,
Yeah.
apparently.
That they canceled Silent Hill so they could make Japan arcade gambling games.
Probably a similar
Why?
thing. It's probably a similar thing happening in Metal Gear right now too.
Wait, really?
We don't talk about Metal Gear Survive.
That's Metal Gear's not in a good spot either.
No,
Oh.
Metal Gear hasn't. Kojima kind of just had his babies ripped from him.
It's good that at least he's at a studio now
Yes.
that respects him.
Yeah, and he still makes good things. He's a phenomenal
heard
story
of
writer.
What was it? Death.
Yeah, Death
Strand-
Stranding.
Is that the one with like the infinite time loop or
No,
whatever?
it's the one with like you have like the baby strapped to you, you like want to
Oh.
walk around the
Yeah, post
I see.
office, postman.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But yeah, no, Hideo. I think that's a great way to wrap up for this segment. Is Hideo is Goober, who went through.
Hell.
Yes, he
Yeah.
went through what Solid Snake did, and he came out to
And
tell
he
the
made
tale.
both games or just the one?
He was a producer of both those.
Yes,
That's
he
awesome.
produced the whole IP of both Silent Hill and Metal
That's
Gear.
insane.
On Silent Hill, I feel like Silent Hill's two sides of the same coin. I'm gonna try my segue work again with this. The other side of that coin being Resident Evil, the other big horror game around that time.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Resident Evil, which I am phenomenally with. I love the RE games.
Yeah, this is weirdly enough, this is what I have more familiarity with, not because of the games themselves, just because of how much Resident Evil is just kind of like went into everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even including crossovers, like the fact that like there's characters in Marvel vs. Capcom or like other games. No, I feel like Resident Evil just kind of was like the big imprint on horror as a whole, kind of like Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the
Because I know
thing,
they're kind of similar to each other in a lot of ways.
I
but
mean,
also,
kinda, because the
Yeah.
thing is, Silent Hill is much more story focused.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Where-
Resident Evil has like action.
Yeah,
more.
Resident
see.
Evil has like combat, which is, I think, very well. I think giving a protagonist in a horror game a way to defend themselves
Yeah.
can actually make the game scarier.
Because it's like you can defend yourself,
But it's not gonna stop them.
and also like you're worrying about bullets and time.
Exactly,
Yeah.
resource
And
management.
also like just the sheer stress of trying to like shoot under pressure.
Yeah.
Just like I've seen Nemesis T-type. He's in Marvel vs. Capcom. I
Oh,
get
yeah.
scared shooting too.
That's why I think with like Resident Evil 6 and 7, that shift to first person instead of third
Yeah.
person really did wonders for the franchise.
Oh, I believe you. Because again, like I don't like playing these games they're fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. They're fun to watch other people play, but like I have enough stress and deadlines as it is, dog. I don't need more.
Don't go to fighting games then. The Resident Evil's there too.
As weird as it is to say, Resident Evil is like more realistic than Silent Hill. Like with RE7, there's like spooky monsters, but also the main enemy antagonist group of the game is just a weird family.
Is that
Cool.
Wesker? Is that one Wesker?
No, Adam Wesker is like RE4.
Wait, isn't
Okay.
it the fourth game or?
What?
Fourth game is Adam Wesker.
Yeah.
Who's
Oh,
just a
yeah,
big
yeah.
guy in a trench coat.
Yeah, he's in Dead by Daylight now.
He's in Marvel vs. Capcom. He's annoying.
But
in that
no, RE7 is the weird family,
Oh.
and you play as God. I can't remember his name,
Just
but
call him Grumpulus too.
it's like Evan something, I think.
Okay.
It's not Leon Kennedy. Okay.
Evan
No.
Grumpulus.
But Leon Kennedy is not a good protagonist, but we'll get on that another day.
That's fair.
Really?
He's a bad, which defeats the point of a horror game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as you were saying,
But thing with Resident Evil 7 is that, like, I love RE8 and Resident Evil 8 Village, but I just think 7 was like the pinnacle of horror. Just not even with like the Resident Evil franchise, but
This
just
is with
with
the creepy family, right?
yes,
Yeah.
not even with just the Resident Evil franchise, but just like horror gaming as a whole. Because this came out with other like major horror plays like Outlast and Outlast 2.
I think there's something genuinely interesting about exploring the most uncomfortable situations. Like
Exactly.
being in like a house with this disgusting family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, like, it doesn't feel real. It's a place you recognize because, you know,
Yeah.
everyone's been in a house.
Yeah, but it feels wrong.
Exactly.
Weirdly
Yeah.
enough, I think that's like what Friday Nights at Freddy's tried to capture with like
Yeah.
the feeling like, oh, you've been here, you've been this place
Yeah.
before, but have you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But like I feel like the more like I think it's like the shift in tone almost with Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to Silent Hill, but like
Yeah.
And since they're for a mature audience, they're allowed to get even
Yeah.
darker and more
And
uncomfortable.
the
with
thing
it.
is that Resident Evil went from being like very action focused to basically just pure horror.
Mhm.
Because like there's still, you know, resource management, bullet management, all that stuff, but it's a lot more subdued. And again,
Yeah.
first person camera angle,
Mhm.
no more quick time events of running from the boulder.
there's a boulder
Oh,
quick.
There's a Boulder QuickTime event.
Resident Evil 4, Leon Kennedy,
Why?
you smash the triangle button to run from the boulder.
That's awesome.
The plot of Resident Evil 4 is you go to a weird, like, town in the middle of the woods to save the president's daughter. It's not scary. It's
That's-
cool. It
yeah.
feels cool to do, but
Yeah.
it's not scary.
Yeah, which kind of defeats the point. Like, again,
Exactly.
I feel like. Oh, you go. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna transition now actually. So if there's a little more
Oh.
of that,
I guess then one more little anecdote.
I was gonna transition to like the second part of this part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's kind of interesting. Like as Resident Evil is becoming more and more of a horror game,
Mm-hmm.
horror as a whole just been kind of like,
Less and less.
it's becoming
Yes.
less and less horror. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's like two opposite graphs almost in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Exactly, because there's just negative connotation with the term indie horror games.
Oh yeah.
Like, we went on a long talk about Ban, Poppy Playtime, all that stanky
Yeah.
stuff.
And the funny thing is, I think it's kind of silly to be like, oh, back in my day, because there's
Yeah.
always a back in my
Again,
day.
and that's not to say that good horror games just don't exist now. They still do.
Yeah.
It's just they kind of get drowned.
Yeah, I think it's a bit complicated though, because like back in the day, before FNAF, right? Before any of that, there were stalker games, right?
Yeah.
Inspired by both of these franchises. Like there was Slender Man, and there was like
Yeah, Slender Man.
Slender Man.
Inspired real life killing. Fun fact.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And a movie.
I
The
don't
movie-
know which is worse.
The movie was worse.
Okay, we're making one with the stand. But like, I was actually able to see it a little real time because I worked at a summer camp.
Oh yeah.
Where I like like these kids are the target demographic, and it showed.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't feel like I'm looking at like I feel like the characters I'm looking at are from a horror game, but like
Yeah.
the settings I'm seeing them anymore, that doesn't really feel like horror.
No.
It's not
Like
that
d-
creative.
You know,
either.
you know what's crazy when I'm seeing like like Friday Night Funkin' like horror mods,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
and some people probably are genuinely scared about the rhythm game.
Exactly.
yeah.
People. Sonic.exe sells copies.
It had a resurgence, man. It's like
Oh,
back in all these mods.
Exactly. There's like 15. It's just her seems to be much more about what's popular and not what's
Yeah.
good.
And again, because it's hard to market.
Exactly.
It's hard to market horror because it's an uncomfortable feeling.
I
you
think
know?
that's why we're seeing like the second something hits public domain, a movie's
Yeah.
made where like the public domain
Oh,
figure is
yeah.
a horror character.
But
Yeah.
it's not a good horror. It's like
Yeah, it's just a moneymaker. to
yeah,
get
Yeah.
people.
Winnie Pooh, Blood and Honey, the Steamboat
Mhm.
Willie movie.
So we like being scared a bit.
Yes.
Even I do. But we don't like getting really uncomfortable, which again, I don't personally. As I said,
Yeah.
I'm not like I like Inscription. I don't like being like on the edge, like, you know, I don't, you know, but I probably would still like watching, but I wouldn't like playing them.
Exactly.
But the thing is, like, I feel like those games should exist more. There should be a place
Yeah.
for games to be adults and be scary and be uncomfortable and talk about like trauma and talk about
Exactly.
issues.
And indie games have done that with recent games like the one with the dead child in the closet, Bad Parenting.
oh god.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Binding of Isaac, right?
No, it's called Bad Parent. That's the name of the
That's
game.
I was gonna say if you didn't know the name, we can put it up on.
No, that's the name of the
Oh, wow.
game.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say that's an old game you're talking about though.
The game came out like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Is it good?
It's a very well written story.
Mhm.
Check it out.
Mhm.
But and we need more stuff like that. Stuff that's not afraid to, like, it's stuff that's not just jump scare simulator. Or stuff
Exactly.
that's like,
Yeah.
what if Fall Guys, but scary. That's also a real thing, by the way.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing.
I'm getting too old for this. I'm losing track.
They're doing a mascot horror that takes place in a children's parkour center. It's like Fall Guys.
And it's the other thing is like number one, if for some godforsaken reason you're a kid and you somehow manage to be here, ignore us and go play your game. Go enjoy things.
Go back in the mom's womb. You're not done baking yet.
Go enjoy, have fun. I think the kids should be allowed to have fun and
No.
mess with things.
No.
But like there needs to be a place for especially indie horror cuz like unlike AAA, us as like smaller artists,
We have more creative freedom.
we have more creative freedom. So why are we like bending our own integrity to fill a quota
Exactly.
other than money?